Hello and welcome back to Better Than Adventure. I think I may just tear up the roof. We'll see. Yeah, so last time I left off, we decided to make this our bedroom, and I thought this upper space is not used for literally anything, so may as well tear it up, you know? And have a taller roof here. So we'll do that. Well, you're against this? Well, sorry, I don't care. Hey, 2 words, buddy, I don't care. It's actually 4. It's one of those things, so I know this is hard to believe for some people, but I'm not natively English, so it was kind of, it's one of those things where I had to Google, is don't 1 or 2 words, because it doesn't make much sense if you, don't know, like, some of the simple stuff, because that's kind of just how it works when you learn language. But yeah, like, overall, it is what it is. One thing which I've tried to do is be better at writing. Not like videos, but like actual real writing. Not because I would ever want to publish any of it. I'm bad at, really bad at, building an entire plot. But more just specifically like characters. Like, there was this one... Well, there's a collection of scenes that I just kind of made up because I was bored, but I was trying to build like a Torino character, like Torino from San Andreas, like the kind of Fed who is way deeper in how, you know, who knows how everything works, and now really starts to, well, in this case, really fucking hates you. Because you're messing with the stuff that he's worked very hard to keep in working order. Like, you know, it's kind of like, you know, you're messing with the order of things. So now you're his problem. So yeah, now we'll have to figure out interior design. So I'll get some water buckets and some slabs and some wool and some wood. Hmm. Okay, so what do we not need? Probably cobblestone or redstone, unless you want some blood. Blood, it's all about the blood. No. But for real, Ooh. Well, wait. I've got an idea. One thing which I kind of spent, honestly, a little bit too long thinking about is, it sounds stupid when I say it, but it's, the idea of blood, right? Because one thing which I kind of like in stories is completely incompatible clashing ideals. Because it's kind of interesting when 2 characters will just, you know, find that their enemy, you know, like, you know, they're enemies or whatever, right? So they'll slowly find that their views are, you know, completely and, you know, unfixably incompatible. And how do you fix that? Well, oftentimes you can't, because some writers who are scared will try to say, oh, well, we don't know who's correct. And then, no. If you've ever been in real life, you'll know that that's not how it works. By the way, you can do this. Isn't that fucking cool? That's insane. And if I remove this... Oh, I can't move. Whatever. But seriously, it's one of those things where... It is, honestly, in my opinion, the sort of... Let's call it the gray zone, where it's like... well, both of them kinda have an argument. I don't like that approach. Because very often, especially as we've seen in real life... That's kind of not the conflict. It is interesting to have people who are both trying to do something, and who have sort of similar end goals, but with a completely different method of achieving them. But as we've hopefully learned, there will always be people who just kind of see that the only way for things to go forward is for the world to get worse for their benefit. And, like, having those kinds of characters, believe it or not, who are just kind of evil. Not evil for the sake of being evil, but evil in a way where you can understand why they're evil and understand their intentions, you know? Not the kind who will just, like, eat someone alive for the sake of it, but the kind who has intentions and goals, and they're very clear to them, even if to you, they're nonsensical and have to be explained. Because that's often how it is. Even things that are nonsensical, just like, not nonsensical to you, but I mean like genuinely nonsense, often have some underlying logic. It may not be sound logic, it may be completely batshit insane, but it's still backed up by some sort of logic. Sometimes. And sometimes people are just, you know, fucking insane, but still. What do I... I don't know what I was... Oh yeah, like a shower. Well, the issue is this is only 1 block thick, so... What I'll have to do is I'll have to maybe... I'll just leave it like that, okay? So... I'm just gonna... Can I make panes? I don't think I can, right? Oh! Hell yeah. Okay. We need a chest now. Just one. Okay, so we have that. Now we need a door. No! There we go. And so... What can I make out of iron? Iron... Huh. Fence? Let's see. This lets me have this. Guess we can... Can I? Nope. Also, I'll move this up here, just in case. But yeah, so that's that. Then we'll want a permanently full tub. But, in order to do that, we'll need a... What kind of trapdoors do we have? Huh? Oh, there's no non-hollow trapdoors, so... Wait, there are... Hmm. Got an idea, hold on. Huh? Okay. Throw it again. Throw it again. Okay. So my stupid idea is to use this and then, I guess use it for the sides as well. Gonna be one of those glass jacuzzis that I don't think exist for reasons that should be kind of obvious. Come on. Oh my god. Okay, okay, okay. So... Yes. Does it have to make sense? No, but it should just make enough sense. And then... Iron bricks? Just put an iron trapdoor here. Kind of a big toilet that you can barely sit on. So, what if I do this? Nothing. I assume we have to make more bricks, and then... Yes! That was promised in the update. There we go. We made the bathroom. Would be nice to see the world out of here, but yeah. So, what do we need now? Now we need a bed. Do we have carpets? Huh, that's funny. Nope. Not even a carp, which is the most disappointing one so far. So what I'll do is I'll just place a big old bed here. Then I'll use, eucalyptus. I don't know why I think it's mahogany all the time. Oh, there's a stupid joke I could make, but I will... wait. There we go. Wait, there's another one. Right? Options, search, overlay. Yes. Okay, now we're back. Okay, so now we want to turn these into some stairs. And there we go. Well, so I'm aware I could be a lot more funny in a less than appropriate way than I am being. But that's because I, doesn't feel like it, mostly. I don't feel like that would necessarily ruin the integrity of the channel. It's more that, I don't know. Me and my... I don't really talk about this much, but me and my ex kind of invented brain rot before it was cool. Yeah. Also, one thing the internet convinced me, that was then disproven very quickly, after, like, 5 fucking years, but, what they convinced me was, that, like, oh, didn't you know that, breakups are bad? Because you only see, most of the time online, the stuff is really negatively polarized, so you only see when things go wrong, right? You never... Oh, God. No, I'll fix it. It's fine. You never really see, like, the things which, you know, you never really see when things are going well online, because that doesn't generate clicks. And we live at a point in time when that's all that really matters to people. Like, everybody is trying to get your attention, and the way to do that is by making you convinced that the specific little thing that they're doing matters the most. And yeah, that sucks, but sadly, there's not much you can do. Except, of course, knowing when it's happening and how to avoid it. And you avoid it by not interacting at all. Huh. I will remove that later, by the way. Don't you think that, Ow. Wait, can I put this in glass? No. Now, if you're wondering why I'm doing that, it's because I'm going to put the real bed up here, because even if that bed's nice, sadly, you can't sleep in this beautifully huge bed, but you can put the real bed up here and sleep in it. So, that's the way I'll get up. Take the bed, pop it up there, and we'll be done with that. Now, I don't like how flat this is, but... actually... I think it'll look better if I replace this with... slabs. Also, rip. I have... No, I thought I had a steel one, but I don't. I guess while we're up here, I'll make an iron one. Who cares? Yeah, I think that looks better. And I'll only need 2 more, I think. By the way, you know what's kind of offensive? You ever see, like, a YouTuber who doesn't normally cover, like, a specific game or type of game, cover the exact thing that you love, and then they kind of butcher it because it's very clear they don't actually care that much? That is kind of how I feel about people who play, like, about most people who, or I guess streamers, who are people, sort of, but, you know, the guys who will play something like Kerbal Space Program, because most of the time, it's like, they don't really take the game too seriously, and I understand it's like, it's kind of like how with BeamNG Drive, it's such a good simulation game for vehicles, but to most people, it's the funny car crashing game, and that's all it'll ever be to them. So you run into this little issue where now the game is seen as something different, and people expect different things from it to what it actually is, and it's just kind of frustrating if you're, you know, somebody who cares about this stuff, okay? By the way, yeah, you can just do this if you want to get rid of the thing. You just have to be fast. Now, what else do you need in your private bedroom? Well, well, considering this is a nice window here, maybe it makes sense for us to make, like, a little desk here. Right? Like, just having your little chair. I'll put it like this so you can sit down, but, you know, so you can just do your writing or gaming. Then we'll also want, though I'll need to, go back for it, we'll have a big TV. I understand this, and the TV may not be the most, fitting idea, but trust me, it'll work. So we need black dye, and we need some note blocks, which require redstone. So I'll go on a bit of an adventure to get black dye. Hmm. Here we are. And there's no money in here. Let's see. Is there... I'll just leave some of the stuff in here. There's no shares even. I need... Okay. I'm going to, I know it's night. Or I think it's night. I'll make some shears, and I'll go on a hunt for some more sheep, because I need, like, 10 wool. And we need more. Because it's gonna be 5 by... It's morning, it's fine. It's gonna be 5 by 3. Actually, let me test this. So 16 by 9 is 177. 5 by 3 is 166. So it's almost widescreen, but not quite. And for that, we would need 15. We already have 15 wool. Now we just need squids, and I only see one of them for now, but... There may be more somewhere. Also, you may have noticed a green friend. I'm not ignoring him. I just don't care. I just don't care. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come here, little boy. Come here. Okay, got him once. It's twice, right? Yeah. Wait, but that means we don't even have to... You don't have to kite him at all. I see more squids. He doesn't care. Ooh, clay. Okay, the only way to do this is to get 15 ink sacks. I'm on the hunt for squibs. No, wait, it's a squid. A squib is something else. But a squib kind of sounds like a fucked up squid. Like, you know, like in a game, like, you're fighting a level 1 squib before you can fight the level 10 squid. Or the level 50 kraken, or the level 100 I'm going to drown. That's not the name of the mob, but, yeah, I don't know. I do like the depth, though. It's kind of deep. That's one of my issues with... So, overall, I have issues with, surprisingly enough, all versions of Minecraft. My biggest issue with beta is the sort of small scale of the world generation. It feels like, you know, it feels a little insignificant. It feels like all of the biomes are a little bit too small. And that's why the different biomes that existed aren't that interesting, you know? That's something that I like a bit better than Adventure. It makes the biomes simultaneously more varied, while also making them... You know, while sort of keeping the more, natural style. Because an issue with modern Minecraft is that a lot of the biomes are just so forced, you know? Like... One of the things which I specifically like about beta, you know, terrain generation, is that very often, like, the temperature... So the way it works is there's, like, this temperature chart and a humidity chart, and they sort of interact with each other. And the world gen is semi, but not fully linked, so most of the time you'll have flatter terrain the drier the environment is, and rougher terrain the wetter it is. And all that's fun, but because it's at such a small scale, sometimes it just doesn't feel right. But overall, I think it's a decent idea. Though I also like the way... Well, I don't like it, but I'm fine with the way that modern Minecraft has done it. Where, you know, you have the terrain and biome sort of linked. Especially with the new terrain keep in mind, terrain generation was kind of shit for a while. Like, you would have a snow biome spawn next to a desert. And in most parts of the world, it doesn't work that way. Especially not a humid, like, boreal forest next to a, you know, fucking desert, but still. The only cases where, like, cold deserts exist is when, like, you know, in the Gobi Desert, there's, yeah, we're here. Where in the Gobi Desert, there's, like, a, you know, basically mountains surrounding a basin. So there's your desert. In the cold. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Anyways, what else could we fit here? Honestly, just... We can do a bookshelf. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where the FNAF lore is. That doesn't exist. This is the, Oh, that's the secret book. Anyways, yeah, it took us a bit of time, but... We did it! We made one room. Will the other rooms get this level of detail? No, not really. I'll leave them until last. But now that we've, finished one room, now we can go all the way down and start figuring out what I'm going to do. Because I'm just sick of how boring these builds are when empty. What could go in here? This isn't the bottom floor. No, this is the... What's funny is, okay, because of the tree tallness, and because this is elevated, it kinda... It bamboozled me. Also, I want an actual path, like, leading to some little town down there, eventually. But we'll see. And speaking of seeing, I can foresee that one of these will be a library. And I want a big old dining room and a kitchen. See you then. Goodbye.